The storytelling style is interesting, and interesting like a person telling the story. Many people are familiar with the image of a magnificent and architecturally beautiful Japanese castle, but Sakamoto Castle on Lake Biwako tells a different story. The story behind this castle is a masterpiece of the Sengoku period, or Japanese Civil War, filled with loyalty, betrayal, and bitter tragedy. The story begins in 1571, the middle of the Sengoku period. Following the Onin War of 1477, Japan was divided into factions, with feudal lords, or daimyo, competing for power and territorial conquest. Although Ashikaga Yoshiaki was the last shogun of the Ashikaga clan, he held virtually no power. Real power lay in the hands of Oda Nobunaga, known as the Demon General for his brutality and decisiveness. One threat to Nobunaga's power was Enryaku-ji Temple on Mount Hiei. This temple was not only the spiritual center of the people, but also the spiritual center of the people. But it also served as a stronghold for the warrior monks, Sohei, a key force in resisting Nobunaga's unification. When paranoia reached its peak, Nobunaga decided to send his army to attack and burn the temple to the ground. This event became known as the Siege of Mount Hiei. While brutal, it marked the beginning of the unification of the nation. Nobunaga then granted Sakamoto territory to Akechi Mitsuhide, a loyal general who had participated in the attack on Hiei Temple, and ordered the construction of Sakamoto Castle. This castle became a symbol of loyalty and an important stronghold. Mitsuhide dedicated himself to building the castle, making it the second largest castle in Japan, after Nobunaga's own Azuchi Castle. But fate took a turn. In 1582, Nobunaga ordered Mitsuhide to lead an army to assist Hideyoshi in his campaign in the west. Instead of complying, Mitsuhide then led his troops back to Kyoto and attacked Honnō-ji Temple, Nobunaga's residence. This event is known as the greatest betrayal in Japanese history. The reason for Mitsuhide's betrayal is unclear. It may have stemmed from pent-up anger over being insulted by Nobunaga, or from his ambition to unify the nation. As a result, Nobunaga committed seppuku, or disembowelment, at Honnō-ji Temple. Mitsuhide ruled for only 13 days before being crushed by Hideyoshi's forces at the Battle of Yamazaki. He was killed by the locals while fleeing to Sakamoto Castle. The fate of Sakamoto Castle lay in the hands of Akechi Hidemitsu, Mitsuhide's adopted son, who was guarding it. Upon learning of his master's death and the approaching enemy forces, he committed seppuku with his soldiers and burned the castle to the ground. This magnificent castle, once a trophy of loyalty, came to a tragic end. Although the castle remains in ruins today, partially submerged beneath Lake Biwako, its original site has become Sakamoto Castle Park, and there's a monument to Mitsuhide to remind people of this. This memory reflects the complexities of the Sengoku period and teaches us that the fragility of power. Even great power can crumble overnight, and loyalty can be shattered by cruelty or injustice. The complexity of humanity. Mitsuhide was not just a traitor, but a capable warrior with a sense of justice and diverse motivations. A single decision cannot define his entire identity. And the uncritical judgment. This monument challenges us to look beyond the word traitor and consider the reasons behind his actions, including political pressures and long-standing injustices. Sakamoto Castle and the story of Akechi Mitsuhide are thus valuable lessons about the fragility of power, the complexity of humanity, and the tragedy of conflict during the Civil War. Japan is not only rich in castles, but also rich in lessons to learn and remember.